If your goal is financial freedom, is to quit your job and to start a business, then pivoting between lanes, but always moving forward, is not quitting. There's a huge difference there. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rising Father podcast. I'm Chris Rodack. I was just talking to a guy in my program about pivoting in business. And there's many parallels to pivoting in life and pivoting in any important aspect of your goals, your vision, where you want to go in life. So there's many parallels. There's many lessons in here. So I kind of talk through his situations I've been in, and maybe we can pull some lessons from it together, because I talk a lot about being consistent, doing the boring work, not being results focused. But there's also a time when you need to pivot. You need to pivot and not see it as a failure. Both things are true. You can pivot in business and in life, and it cannot be a failure. Sometimes it's better to adjust course than bash your head into a wall. And the determining factor is, do you believe in what you're doing or not? Do you believe that you are working towards a vision, you are working towards a goal, or are you not truly invested in what you're doing? So this particular guy was trying to make a side business work that he didn't truly believe in. He didn't like the message behind it. He didn't even know if it worked, but he was trying to push it. He's putting a lot of time in, a lot of hours in, missing time with his family because he was putting those hours into this business, but he wasn't really passionate about it. But he's been consistently working at it for about 8 months, 2, 3 hours a day, and hasn't made a dime. Just hasn't worked. And as I talked to him, he even told me that he wasn't truly invested in it. He said, I don't know if this is going to work out. And if when I try to sell it, I don't feel good about it because I don't think it's going to work out for them because it hasn't worked out for me. A certain thing this guy was trying to sell. So my advice to him was, well, it's time to pivot. I said, did you learn something over the last 8 months? He said, yeah, I learned a ton. I learned lots of marketing skills, lots of things about social media, lots of business skills. So I said, take that and use it for this new venture you want to do. I've done that tons of times in my business life. I've started some things that didn't work out. I paid for coaches, courses, programs, took knowledge from that and adjusted it and used it for the next venture. If you talk to any successful business person, they failed thousands of times until they landed the one that worked. And every single time they fail, they learn something new. Every failure they take a lesson from to the next one. It doesn't discourage them. They don't quit completely from doing business just because one thing didn't work out. It's just, I'll try this, then I'll try this, then I'll try this. I fail, and then I fail, and then I fail. But each failure, you are ping-ponging closer towards your ultimate goal, which is fulfillment, peace, financial freedom, providing for your family, being a confident leader, all these things. So every failure you have, if you take a lesson from it, you are moving closer and closer towards success. This is my words for him. There is a message that you need to focus on the work and you need to not give up ever. And if you're consistent and don't quit, you will find success. And I believe in that. That doesn't mean that quitting means, that doesn't mean that you stick with something that isn't working forever. Quitting is saying, I want financial freedom. You work at a 9 to 5 and you say, I want financial freedom, so I'm going to quit all business and just stick with my job. That is quitting. Working a 9 to 5, starting one business, working at it for a year, and that business isn't working, and starting a new business and then working at that for a year, that's not quitting. That is pivoting. It all depends on what the end goal is. It all depends on what your vision is and what you're working towards. If your goal is financial freedom, is to quit your job and to start a business, then pivoting between lanes, but always moving forward, is not quitting. There's a huge difference there. So do not waste your life in something you don't believe in. Because you can also say, I'm quitting this because Chris said you can quit, and use it as a cop-out, or things are getting too hard for me, so I'm going to quit. If that's the reason, then you're quitting for the wrong reasons. And you're not pivoting, you're just quitting. You're quitting because it's hard. Because things will get hard. In my business, I believe in, I take guys to death. When you're if you're talking to me about joining our program, I'm passionate. I am talking to you. We're digging into your life. You are telling me deep things, and we're having great conversations about how we can help you rise. I believe in it to my core because it's changed me and it's changing guys' lives right now. Because of that, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to go through hard times. I'm willing to put in lots of hours and push through obstacles to make sure my vision happens. If that is not how you feel about the vision you're working towards, then it might be time to pivot. It might be time to pivot towards something that you are willing to fight for. And maybe that thing you're fighting for isn't your life calling. That's fine. Here's an example. There's another guy in our group who I'm helping to build a business, and a lot of the business owners are helping him right now. And he's a teacher. He wants to quit his job, start a business, and he thought for months about what business should I start. The goal for him, the vision for him is financial freedom. It's to provide for his family better. So the vehicle in which that happens isn't as important to him. Meaning that he just needs to pick a business and go all in on it, something that he enjoys. He's, he's in his 20s. So it doesn't matter. He just needs to start a business, fail a bunch of times, learn a bunch of skills, make some money, and then pivot that to a new business or learn how to level up his current business. There's plenty of very fulfilled, successful, happy people, rich people who are running landscaping companies, running paper factories, running window companies, running plastic companies. Not everyone is privileged to run a business like I do, like Rising Father, where I'm impacting and changing people's lives. But they could be just as fulfilled because they're achieving their vision of providing for their family and creating wealth and providing freedom and being resourceful and using their resources to help people. And they're living the life that they want. So choose the vehicle that gets you there. But if the vehicle that gets you there is something you don't believe in, then you could find yourself bashing your head against the wall. Because for me, when I run into an obstacle, I have to figure it out so that I can help people. I have to figure out how to do these tech things or how to hire the right people or whatever the case may be, because I know on the other end of that is someone who needs their life changed. So I'm willing to do that. And I don't just say that carelessly, because if you talk to my guys, they'll tell you their life has changed by being in this program because of me and because of each other. They are changing each other's lives. I have no problem saying that because they would tell you that themselves. But if you don't believe in your product or service or business like that, then it's going to be hard to push yourself hard enough to do the work required to get to where you want to go. So I'm willing to push myself hard because I believe that there's someone on the other side who was where I once was, who needed what I needed. I see myself when I was at my worst spot in these guys that I talk to, and I think, what would I have told myself 5-6 years ago when I just let myself go and needed a guiding hand? I needed someone to lift me up. What would I have told myself? What did that guy need? And I have to make myself that for these guys. Because I've been able to transform myself in finances, in fitness, in my family, in my focus. And everyone has that opportunity to do that. And it's so hard. If you're a father, if you've got kids, you've got a job, you've got a house, you're trying to make money, you're trying to be a good husband and father, and then a pipe bursts and your whole weekend is gone, so you don't have time to work on your business, and then you're not present with your family, and then you beat yourself up. It's easy to go down this wormhole and spiral. Then you have a negative identity. Then you show up worse for your family because you're mad at yourself. It spirals and it gets out of control. I understand. It's happened to me. It happens to lots of guys. It's natural. You're not a bad person if that happens to you. But you can do things to get yourself out of that, such as building yourself into a more resilient man. If you build yourself into someone who can withstand the chaos, we call it the lighthouse in my program. If you're someone who can withstand the waves and the weather and the winter and the snow and the ice and everything that comes at you, and you can continue to light the way and be a warm present for your family, then you are the lighthouse. And if you can build yourself into that person, then when chaos comes, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So, as you're thinking about what am I working towards, what is my vision, what are my goals, what comes up through that are obstacles and resistance. And the vision you have for yourself has to be greater than the obstacles and resistance that you're going to have to battle through. Is your vision greater than the monsters you're going to fight to get there? Is the thing you want worth pushing through, worth suffering? How much are you willing to suffer to get to your vision? Is your vision paying off your mortgage, being financially free, paying for your kids' college, going on more vacations, not having that stress? Is your vision having energy for your kids and family so you can run around and be athletic and be inspiring for them? Is your vision to have a great relationship with your wife where you guys love each other like you used to, you're attracted to each other, you flirt, and you're passionately in love with each other? Is that your vision? What are you willing to suffer to get there? Because change requires doing things you're not used to doing, which many times means suffering in some sort of way. It means being uncomfortable in some sort of way. Change means doing things you're not used to. It means a new life, which means working hard, which means suffering. Are we willing to do that for the vision we want? And as I was talking to this guy, he realized at the end of it that my heart's not in it. I don't want to spend this time away from my family and spend this time working at something that I don't truly believe in. My piece of advice for him was start journaling, start writing about it. Start writing about the thing you're doing and then read it back to yourself objectively. And while you're reading it back to yourself, see what the tone is, see how you're talking about the thing, and analyze yourself. Does it sound like the person who wrote this likes what he's doing or wants to quit and start something else? Does it sound like the person who wrote this would die for this product or service, believes in it to the core, would battle someone over this? If not, maybe it's time to pivot. And with that, this is a short solo podcast. We're going to end. The next podcast is an awesome one of my favorites I've done, with a lady, believe it or not, a neuroscientist, and we're going to talk about emotional health and us and how that impacts our children. She has a lot of strategies and specific studies and advice that she's going to share. So make sure you tune into that one. Talk to you guys soon.